Video game, flash fiction. This is a timed writing game. I'm going to press this button to start the timer here. And within the 90 minutes, the timer is off. I'm going to set this timer to 90 minutes. Maybe I'll make it 89 minutes for wasting time talking right now. Video game flash fiction is a game that's going to happen within that time limit. I'm going to randomly select one of these Atari 2600 cartridges by rolling this dice. Column 2. And I'm going to select the roll. The bottom one right there. This story and this cartridge will be created from it. Rather, this cartridge will create a story from it, as I will slot it into the Atari 2600 console, and I will make more chaos going when I go about it. Man, one of those days, maybe one of those weeks, where I get an interesting little story to write, and I get to see time. Yeah, that was chaos. Chaos of like maybe the slot machine that we got to write a story about in the next, how many minutes? Hour and 28 minutes. Yeah. Well, video game flash fiction is a exercise of the imagination. So let's see if we can, let's see what story is written as I talk out loud and narrate this process of creating a story called Slot Machine. I have a hankering. Ooh, wait, hold on. Joystick controller. Okay, so I got the right controller. Oh, wow, that graphic looks as good for me as it likely does for you all coming through the video camera, taking a picture of a screen. All right, I don't know what the frack I'm doing. Do I have to have both joysticks in here? Like, is this not a one-player game? This is weird. I don't even, I know I get slot machine, okay. This game select. I honestly don't know if I have another joystick available. The last one I had broke, and this was my backup. I think I have others in storage, but if it's requiring another player right now, well, it's not going to happen. The joystick is plugged into the slot 1 for player 1, and it's not doing anything. I don't know, it's difficult to do something. Let's select a different game. Maybe I hold something down. It is joystick. So let me validate this. This is what happens when trying to create a story of something. With joystick controllers. Yeah. Huh. And sometimes I can make sound. All right. Let's hold the button, move around, just move around, press a bunch of buttons. Yeah, I'm baffled. This maybe the game's broke. I turned the screen on when I purchased these games just to see that at least the graphic comes up. I don't play. Which can lead to moments like this, but it's called Slot Machine. So, it ain't gonna take the literary genius to be able to write a story about a slot machine and make it interesting. Really bored writer. I'm not bored though. Really slot machine. Okay. Chaotic beginning. It wasn't the smoothest beginning. Maybe deep in my mind I'm trying to change how I do the intro to video game flash fiction to make it more snappy. Maybe I'm overthinking it, which causes for chaos like this morning, and then even more chaotic that, like it says joystick, and these just like should work. I can't imagine like I'm holding down, like I got it to make button sounds at some point. Let me see if this does something. No, maybe I need an odd one or an even. Okay, see that did something, but that's it. And then it's like, maybe I got to put into the other handle. I may have played a game during the past where, this just sucks. Slot machine. I guess the addiction of it, how to play it. What's the story here? I was really hoping to make something happy today, but now I got a game called Slot Machine that's only going to get into my mind about some gambler with an addiction to slot machines. We don't need to go there, maybe. But where else is there to go? Where could you go with a story about a slot machine that's not feeding into gambling addiction? Which hey, that's something that I can fictionalize about. Not that I've been a gambling addict, but I've known gambling addicts, and I know the rush of gambling. It feels real good. I've talked with people who like to play slot machines a lot, and I played slot machines, so I don't have to fictionalize the idea of playing a slot machine wanting to win money. However, it just doesn't want to write that story because it's been written. And yeah, can it be written, in my mind, another way? Sure. Since this is really open, this is a slot machine, and I got a slot machine on. And even if my joystick were able to do more than just make one sound and then everything kind of pauses in this game, I would still be just playing slots. And because I'd still be like this, maybe it'd be cool if like you hit the select and it like moved the thing, but. So the slot machine story here, maybe I should make it like a romance between two. Oh man, that could be people from an elderly home that went on the gambling bus to go drop some nickels in slot machines. And they flirt with each other while they're playing slots, the nickel slots. Slot machine. Maybe there's one machine they both like too. Can I do that in a flash fiction story? No, that's fun. I like that. Nobody dies. They're just dropping nickels. Although I don't know if nickels machines exist anymore. They're probably more like quarter machines now. Just the energy alone's probably gone up enough that you'd have to up the amount of gambling fees just to make money from it. Because they don't have stuff there they don't make money from. It's not the point of a casino. Yeah. I don't want to start with the slot machine. I could start with the interaction between the two, and they never play it, maybe. Well, we'll see. That's my machine. We'll go present tense. Perfect. Or simple, rather. Not perfect. Present, simple present. Simple present. I'm going to do the typical gender roles. Just because that's what pops into my mind right now. It'd probably be more interesting if this was like a buddy story, but I've also been trying to improve my writing ability. in the area of romance. I can't write romance very well. I'm not saying I write anything else stunningly, but even I can admit I struggle with romance, and I'm pretty good at sex, but not romance. What does that say about me? A lot. So that's my machine. It says, that's my slot machine, because it's going to be full on possessive. I'm not talking about a seat. I'm not talking about a place. That's my machine. Who is going to be confrontational? I've already started formulating this name. Edith to me is a grandma name. I'm sorry if your name is Edith. When I see you, I see an old person in you. But that's not so bad. Even if you're like 20 and I see you Edith, I'm going to be like, yeah. You're gonna fit that name when you're about 50. In a good way. Edith is a good name. Edith doesn't take shit from this dude. They're going to be about 70. I'm going to be inspired by, of course, nonfiction, reality of... I've never been on a fun bus before, but I grew up in an area where they would take fun buses to Wendover, Nevada. And I drove to Wendover, Nevada, and I've seen the fun buses, and I've seen the people get off the fun buses. And it's either like a, independent collective work crew thing at the time. I don't know if people do that much anymore, but they probably do. They still love to gamble and drink. So they would go from Ogden to Wendover on the fun bus. And I think that's how they're going to do it there. It's just a bunch of people in a retirement community wanting to go play the nickel slots, which, I've talked and known people who weren't part of a retirement community and had a job. It was decent paying. And they still played the nickel slots. I played the nickel slots. I just don't like slot machines. But this is called Slot Machine. It's kind of hard to avoid that subject in the story, given that even the video game itself looks like a slot machine, though it doesn't seem to work. For me, it makes one sound on the second board. I suspect I may need to move the joystick over to the other input device, because maybe it uses the second player one, but I'm going to wait to do that. If I cared about reading the instructions, I would. I don't want to know its story. I need to know about this slot machine. My slot machine says Edith. Her wrinkled face peers. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I just got sidetracked with life there for a moment. It happens. What was I thinking about? My plans later today. thinking of cadence and nails. I don't know how that tangent went, but I seen Edith sitting there and standing there, and then all of a sudden my mind wandered. It left for a moment. It happens. Rarely, though, when I'm streaming live like this, or trying to create some sort of story in a manner in which I'm being observed. The tired mind does seem to wander a bit. So let's go back to Edith sitting there with her nails tapping the seat in cadence. I was trying to think of the right word. Is cadence what I want? Was it in a row? And then somehow I started thinking about, yes, other things. Her nails tap. What it'd be like plastic. Plastic seat backing. What am I trying to, what the hell? Her red nails tap the seat. Let's just say that. The plastic seat. No, I'm not going to name the seat. Because it's usually more like they're comfortable. They don't want you to move. So it's not like they're going to have like fast food plastic style seats that are uncomfortable where they want you to move. And they don't. I've sat in those seats a lot. And you can get comfortable a little bit. Wharton looks from the slot machine. What are some of the things? Let's look at the levels. Whoa, look at, oh my God, that's what the slot machine looks like right there. We got a television set. We have cactuses. They looked like crosses at first, but I think they're supposed to be cactuses. I like the idea of the crosses. That's kind of fun. There looks like a Liberty Bell and a car, a table and chairs. Oh, that's, different things. Wharton looks at the slot machines. 3 rows. Wait, 3 columns. Of 3 columns of spinning icons of a TV, 2 cactuses. I don't know how to spell cactus right yet, but I'm going to put something on there. Cacti? Is it cacti? Is it cacti? I don't know. 2 cactus, 2 cacti. I'm going to leave it like that. A car. Let's say a coupe. Liberty Bell. And a table and chairs. I think is what's going to happen. I got it. This will make it fun and be able to be concluded within the flash fiction story. I think that they take turns and find out they're having fun and have a competition at the end and win. No, I can't have them win. I don't want to think that someone can come fool the gabbling establishment and love and flirtation will make it victorious. But they're just dropping nickels. Maybe that's the name of the that would be the name of the story if if it wasn't video game flash fiction and they based the name off the story off the game, which is called Slot Machine. It'd be called Dropping Nickels. That's my slot machine, says Edith. Her wrinkled face peers through bifocals. Her red nails tap the seat. Wharton looks from the slot machine, 3 columns of spinning icons of a TV, 2 cactus, a coupe, the Liberty Bell, and a table and chairs. The icons spin. As lights, as red lights, as white lights flash into digital. Like, what does that sound? Like, they almost like the and the digital spinning tones. Wharton hears the digital. What are we on the digital here? Wharton hears the digital. The digital, like cash register. Wharton hears the digital cash register ring of 10 nickels counting to 10, 10 nickels counting. Increasing his pot. 110 nickels. Got here first. Do I have them know each other more? This is not the first time. This could be the time they connect. That way I don't have to do some montage about them meeting again and again and again and again when I really don't have the time nor the word space to do that. That's my slot machine, says Edith. Her wrinkled face peers through bifocals. Her red nails tap the seat. Morton looks from the slot machine, 3 columns of spinning icons of a TV, 2 cactus, a coupe, the Liberty Bell, and a table and chairs. The columns spin as white lights flash and digital spinning tones like bells play until the click of each column stops. The click of each column stops. I think the click of each column until each column clicks. The digital cash register ring of 10 nickels, increasing his pot to 110 nickels. Wharton says he got here first. I got 110 more nickels. And they're going to say and like a period of the decimal point. Sits down in a soft uncomfortable seat of the slot machine next to... This is fun. Let's get those vibrant colors back. As I stare at this longer, I can start to make out what some of these icons actually are. It could be my old aging eyes is adjusting slowly to it, or maybe the machine itself is able to, I don't know. Let's stop talking and continue to write before I say more stupid shit. Edith sets down the soft and comfortable seat of the slot machine next to Wharton. My fun bus. She's gonna pull a bag of nickels. Her red bag of nickels. And believe me, I know people that would store up their nickels. Ask for nickels. Do you have any nickels? And they would put them in a jar. And then they would take that jar, and that's what they'd go spend at Wendover. Which I think is a fabulous idea. I think that's the way to go. Like, at least it makes it like you're collecting a thing for an event. And you're gambling. Like, you ain't gonna win big, but you ain't gonna lose big. And you can kind of pass the time. People watch. Suck in the atmosphere. More often than not, people are always happy at casinos. That's one thing that it took me a long time to realize. And because I just despise this concept of Vegas or the casino and the consumptions. Gambling. Feeding on people's addictions. But it makes people happy, one person told me. And at least if you go there and you're not gambling, it's great people watching. And most of the time, people are very happy. At least they were when I go to Vegas and meet people inside of casinos. Everyone had that certain cheer. Even if you were losing, they usually had enough alcohol into them and it'd be a part of bravado. They'd almost be bragging about it. And at least make them feel happy for that night until they woke the next morning. Of course, walking around Vegas in the early morning is entirely different story than late at night. People are not apt to communicate, and I feel it because I'm the same way. If you're up that early in the morning too, you're usually in there to leave, so, everybody's in a hurry. Anyway, this is not Vegas. This is Wendover. Wendover is like I've never stayed overnight there. I always either drove there or drove there. Yes, and I drove back. But I didn't drink that much then. So it was not as if I drove back drunk. So, yeah. But it was a long drive. It was like 90 minutes. And there's only one place that I'd go. I think there were only 2 places at the time, maybe 3, but anyway, that's my scene for this. I just got to portray it a little bit. And everybody had the red batting in it, red bag of nickels next to Wharton from her purse. I've been saving these. Well, what's Wharton? How am I gonna spell Wharton? How am I spelling Wharton? That's how I'm spelling Wharton. Wharton looks at Edith and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. Oh man, no. She's just gonna press the button. I mean, that's like the Like, I don't even know. I think a lot of it's touchpad now. Like, I don't even know if they include the wheel. They used to have, like, you could do both. You could do the wheel or you could do the button. They want you to do the button because it's quicker, and I just see people do this. They have like 3 of them. Unless then the security would come over and tell people they can't play more than like 1 slot if there was like a rush of people wanting a slot machine. Because you want to, games, you just want to, it's crazy. It's a rush though. Gambling's fun. It makes it interesting no matter what you're doing if you know you're going to make or lose money on it. But you're likely going to lose the money, so maybe find a different way to have fun. Wharton looks at Edith and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses. And there's like the 3 tokens, right? The 3 nickel button. And a digital cha-ching. Triggers. Columns of icons to spin. And yeah, people would love them, like one job I had worked at, there were a lot of people that would go on the fun bus from work and go, and I was young at the time, so I couldn't go gamble. Like 19, working at this place. And yeah, it's just like the stories of them talking about the special machine, and sometimes it would move. And then there's just this joy of just a slot machine, which I like 21 on cheap tables. They used to have $2 tables, and back when $2 was, for me, it would have been about a fourth of what I got paid an hour. So I could lose a game or two. And then it was minimum $2. That doesn't exist anymore. Probably $5, maybe $10 tables. Those are the cheap things. And then of course the percentage is probably a little bit different, more geared toward the house. The digital cha-ching triggers the column of icons to spin. The chimes, the spinning chimes stop. With a row of that'd be horizontally of coops aligning. Wharton looks at Edith and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses the 3 nickel button and the digital cha-ching triggers the columns of icons to spin. The spinning chimes stop one at a time with a row of coops aligning horizontally. And a row, this is the 3 nickel play. And we'll say the televisions, the TVs, icons aligning at an angle. And look at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses the 3 nickel button and the digital cha-ching triggers the columns of icons to spin. The spinning chimes stop at one at a time, with a row of groups aligning horizontally and TV kinds aligning at a slope angle. I'm just going to do that. Angle through the columns. Angle, 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 angle. Not angel, angle. A bright blue flash of a double nickel hit. The ching of increasing. Wharton looks at Edith and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses 3 nickel button, the 3 nickel button, the 3 nickel button. I think that's what I want. Maybe not. The ching of increasing. Cha-ching. The cash register. Increasing value. Of increasing nickel count by 1,000. Hold on. Well, now it won't hit. I think they're going to stand and walk away from it. That's my money, says Edith. Well, I will. This is fun. I got quite the gleam coming off my forehead as I look at myself in the monitor over there. Oh well. That's my money, says Edith, plopping her nickel bag on the slot machine before her. Well, says Warren, pressing the 3 nickel button. I warmed this machine up. That's my money, says Edith, plopping her nickel bag on the slot machine before. I warmed it up. The slot columns. We'll say three white Liberty Bells. the Liberty Bell. Excuse me. So we want 100 nickels. Let's do some math. I don't want to do math. If I had 100 nickels, it'd be $5, right? 20 divided by, yeah, $5 and $50. That's $55. All right. How am I going to end this? I got to end this sometime. I can continue this conversation on probably for the entire day. But that doesn't fit in with reality of life. So all day writing of this one story is just not going to happen. That's why I have a time limit of 47 minutes left. How am I going to end this? I think he just gets up and walks away. We got him winning 3 times in a row, which is rare. I think he's going to cash out. Yep. Wharton pulls out a, we'll say a purple bag. Purple sack. The size of a stocking cap. Is it a stocking cap? Sack the size of a stocking cap and a black drawstring with a black drawstring. He lowers, he opens the mouth, the bag's mouth. And yes, and something. And something. He opens the bag's mouth and holds it under. The coin release slide. He presses. A stream of nickels fills the black bag, fills the, what color was it? The purple sack. The stream of nickel fills the purple sack. While cash register chimes a song of profit. until the final nickel drops into the bag. Morton stands. I don't think she's going to play it. Because it's now cold. Why would, you know... Took all the money. Nickels, nickels. That's it. That's done. I think... How many words is that? Like, I don't know what else I would write. To be honest. It's flash fiction. Not everything has to be 100, 1,200 words, 800 words. This is about the slot machine. And that's exactly what it's about. I think I'm done. Let's speed the end a little bit. Make sure it's clean. Wharton looks at Ethan and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses the 3 nickel button and the digital cha-ching triggers a column of icons to spin. The spinning chimes stop one at a time. Let's get some of these words correct. So digital. Spinning chimes stop on a dime with a row of coops. That's probably needs aligning horizontally. And TV icons aligning at a 45-degree angle. 45-degree angle, because there could be 2 45-degree angles. A bright blue flash for a double nickel hit glows the registered chings with the increasing nickel count by 1,000 nickels. That's my money, says Edith, plopping her nickel bag. That would be a comma right there. Well, says Wharton, pressing the 3 nickel button. I warmed it up. The slot columns align. And Liberty Bells align. Slot columns stop. And Liberty Bells align at a 45-degree angle. Nickel crease and counts by 1,000 nickel, 100 nickels. That's $50. That's $55. Yep. Wharton pulls out a purple sack the size of a stocking cap, and with a black drawstring, he opens the bag's mouth and holds it under sack. I can't call it a sack one point and then a bag another. Let's be consistent on that at least. One has a bag, the other has a sack. He presses cash out with elbows. A stream of nickels fills the purple sack while the cash register chimes a song of money until the final nickel drops into the sack. Wharton pulls and ties the drawstring, stands, all yours, warmed it up for you. Edith scoffs, took all the money from it. She bats her hand and pivots in the chair, sinking into the cushions like a comfortable bed, while the glow of the columns of the slot machine soothe her mind and opens her red back. One has a sack, one has a bag. Let's make sure that bag remains a bag. Where's Edith here? Red bag. All right, let's read this story and just be on our way in life. Yeah, well, for today's video game flash fiction story inspired by the Atari 2600 game called Slot Machine. Slot machine. That's my slot machine, says Edith. Her wrinkled face peers through her bifocals. Her red nails tap the seat. Wharton looks from the slot machine, 3 columns of spinning icons of a TV, 2 cactuses, a coupe, the Liberty Bell, and a table and chairs. The columns spin as white lights flash with digital spinning tones like bells playing until each of the columns stops and the chimes a digital click. Wharton hears the digital cash register ring of 10 nickels, increasing his pot to 110 nickels. Wharton says to Edith, I got 110 more nickels. Edith sits down in a soft and comfortable seat of the slot machine next to Wharton. Well, my fun bus is leaving in an hour, and I need my time. She pulls a red bag of nickels from her jeans purse. I've been saving these for that machine. Wharton looks at Edith and looks at the glowing slot machine screen. He presses the 3-nickel button and the digital cha-ching triggers the columns of icons to spin. The spinning chimes stop on a time of rows, coupes aligning horizontally, and TV icons aligning at a 45-degree angle. A bright blue flash for a double nickel hit glows. The cash register cha-chings with the increasing nickel count by 1,000 nickels. That's my money, says Edith, plopping her nickel bag on the slot machine before her. Well, says Wharton, pressing the 3-nickel button, I warmed it up. The slot column stops and Liberty Bells align at a 45-degree angle. Nickel count increases by 100 nickels. That's $55, says Edith, huffing. Yep. Wharton pulls out a purple sack the size of a stocking cap, and with a black drawstring, he opens the sack's mouth and holds it under the coin slide slot. He presses cash out button with elbow. A stream of nickels fills the purple sack while the cash register chimes a song of money until the final nickel drops into the sack. Wharton pulls and ties the drawstring, stands. All yours, warmed it up for you. Edith scoffs. Took all the money from it. She bats her hand and pivots in the chair, sinking into the cushions like a comfortable bed, while the glow of the columns of the slot machine soothe her mind, and opens her red bag of nickels. Well, it made me smile, and if that's all it ever does, it's worth having written it. Let's turn this off. Well, I think what started out as chaos and had a little bit of mind drift somewhere between now and then, or then and now, the story came to be. That's how stories are created. You just have to start them sometime. And eventually, let yourself end it.